Hey everybody, we're here in Humber's LGBTQ Resource Centre, and my name is Jack. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm here with...
I'm Kenny. I use he and they pronouns.
My name is Drew, and I use they and them pronouns.
I'm Serene. I use she, they pronouns.
And I'm Bo, and I use he, him pronouns.
Alright, and today we're going to be talking about surviving the holidays. Ooh. Cool. Question number 1. How do you usually spend the holidays? Do you see family, friends, do you have important days for your faith? Do you take a break from school, rest, and relax?
I go home for the holidays. So I go back to where I live and I visit all of my like immediate family. I don't usually see my extended family or anything, so we're not really like familiar with them or whatever, other than like my grandparents, but we don't see them either on Christmas. It's usually just like my main family. Oh. And then my aunt. And that's it.
We usually have like one big sort of Christmas party. We either do Christmas or New Year's. It's never both. And yeah, we all get together. I do a lot of cooking, I think, over the holidays.
I usually would be at home because I was at home for every holiday season other than this last year. Then I spent it with my partner's family, and then we saw my family after, and that was nice. It's just weird, like growing up, and then at least for me, like putting less and less importance on like Christmas and New Year's, and like not feeling super attached to them anymore, which is fine. For me, it's like totally okay.
I actually spend it with both sides, so my dad's side of the family and my mom's side of the family. It's actually really big. We see like extended family, people from like the US and like across seas, they come over. It's a lot. Yeah, I know, it's so stressful. Because like a lot of them didn't know, so they didn't really know me. They knew of my existence, but then like now knowing me as like a trans individual, it's kind of like, it's so stressful. Because yeah, right, and then you see all these changes. Actually at one family event, my grandfather, he came up to me and he was like, "Who are you, friend of the family?" And I was like,
that happened to me at a funeral.
Right? So I'm just I just kind of like do this thing where I like camouflage into the walls. Yeah.
I usually spend it with my friends. I don't really spend it with my family. We usually travel somewhere, like we'll go to Quebec or somewhere nearby. And New Year's is usually just kind of something small, like at a pub, just like with my close friends.
How do you navigate your queerness during the holidays and with your family?
That would have been a better statement. Mine would work better for that question, but
How do I navigate?
It segues.
I think it is really difficult for me, I think it's really weird because my family always expects me to bring like my partners, and I'm like, I have so many, and like they have other like family obligations obviously, so thankfully we kind of like understand like our life gets busy, and like especially like during the holidays or whatever, there's a lot of like stress, so we're just gonna like do our family thing, and then we'll get over it, and then we'll get together for like New Year's or something. Yeah, I think I just kind of like we don't really talk about like my queerness as a whole. I think most of the time they're just like, "Oh my god, you're so enthusiastic and not as like sheltered like when you were like younger," and which is good. So
I can relate to that, but also my family is like really intense, like religious. So it's like always those conversations. It's okay though. Like I know my family, and I know how to navigate my own family. And like if I'm very stern and like this conversation not for me, that's fine. They're respectful, but I don't talk about myself, like my partners, like any of that, because it's not theirs. You know what I mean? Like they're not in that part of my life. So I have to really separate the two relationships.
Pick your battles.
Yeah.
With, like what you've been talking about, and knowing it's okay to like leave the room if you need to.
Yeah.
My parents are like pretty cool about it, but it can be exhausting just to have it be something that is spoken about all the time or brought up. Yeah, I don't know, just like knowing when you can just walk away is really important.
Yeah.
Because it's anytime.
Yeah. Exactly. It's really.
You can just leave anywhere.
Yeah. You gotta have like that positive, like, self-talk, it's like, it's okay, you're good, you can do this. Yeah.
For me, I am out and have been out to my family for like 3 years. 2 or 3, I think. Anyway, but like I find it different when like I go home now because like before it was like I had 2 separate lives, like 2 separate, like I had like my secret life that was like my gay life, and then like my family life, which is like separate, and like none of them, like they never collided together. And then after I came out, it was like everything's kind of like together, and then like I found like now like my family actually asks me like questions and stuff, which is like strange, and I'm like I don't know how to work it because I never tell like my family anything about relationships or like partners or anything because like I just never have, so I've always been like stuck in that pattern of just kind of like secrecy and like it's something that people don't want to hear or whatever. But then my mom now is like, who are you seeing? Like, you never tell me anything. What partner are you with? Like, and I told, like, recently I said, like, oh, I was dating someone for a while, and they were like, oh my god, like, I didn't even know. Like, you never tell me anything. And I find, like, within the family itself, like, there's more kind of openness now, I guess, about talking about it. So I find, like, it's different, because now, like, my whole family is talking about it more. So, like, I feel like Christmas, to me, is, like, adapting and changing.
Can I have some, like, parting advice that even... It's hard to remember that like there are a lot of societal pressures to always unconditionally love your family members because they're related to you and brought us into this world. Like you don't have to do that, and you don't owe anyone anything at the end of the day, and you can walk away if something's uncomfortable. Or if you feel like you can't have good conversations about your queerness in the holidays, do that too. But like know that you have control and you don't have to love people who put you in the world. Just choose your family.
Chosen family.
Yeah, no, that's
Out of this little stocking. At the bottom?
Top. Yeah.
Is it important to you to be out to your family? So, for some it isn't important at all, and for some it's not safe. So how do you folks feel?
I think I'm out about, I feel like I'm like out about certain things to my family and not about other things. To be honest, the most reason why my mom knows things is because she's nosy and she like digs into my Facebook and stuff like that. But other than that, like I'm like, it's not, she doesn't need to know everything, and not everyone needs to know everything, right? It's just honestly just I want her to, obviously we're at a better place, so I want her to be part of my life, so I let her know some things, but I don't think it's super important for me to be out. I think it is important for me to be out to the kids of my family, because there's a lot of kids, and we have a lot of really bad, like sort of like heteronormative like ideas and like societal pressures that I can see some of my family still doing, but they don't really get it too much. So I think it's important for me to be out to like the youth in my family, but not necessarily like the adults.
For me, it's important for me to be out, like to a certain extent. Like I usually, honestly, I'll just leave it at my gender. I won't talk about anything else because that's not their business. But yeah, so, and really only my immediate family, like my parents and my siblings. Some cousins I know too, because they do need that support though, because they have like same exact thing, like they have like this super heteronormative structure and they're just not used to kind of anyone else. So they need to know that they have support in other areas and they can be authentically themselves, and I wouldn't judge them. So I kind of want to like provide like a safe space for them, so that's why, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not out to my family. I don't think it's important for me. I think just people have different relationships with their family. Like I've never had a good relationship with my family. And my mom is very Muslim, very conservative. For example, I dyed my hair purple. She didn't speak to me for a week. Like, that is how, you know, like she's just like, that is just so weird. Like, stupid people do that. Like, you know. So, yeah, we don't talk about dating. We don't talk about, you know, any of that stuff. It's just very like, we don't speak about that. It doesn't happen. They don't want to know. They don't need to know. They don't know much about my personal life anyway, so I'm comfortable not disclosing my sexual orientation. Like, I don't feel like I'm hiding anything. We don't talk about that stuff. So like, if I don't talk about it, I don't feel like I'm hiding a part of me. I'm just kind of like, I've always had a very separate life outside of my home and outside of my family, so it doesn't really change what I do outside. I'm not thinking, oh, my parents are gonna find out about this video. Like, even if they saw it, they're not gonna bring it up to me. They're just gonna pretend it never happened. They're just going to be like, she was there because, like, I had Like even just working in the LGBTQ center, like my parents know that, and I hid that for a few months too. It's like, I'm going to my job. What's your job again? Bye. Like, you know, just even saying that, my dad is like, oh, I don't know, he said something weird. He was like, it's one thing to like support a community, but you don't need to promote it. It was very strange. It was like spreading the queerness or something. I don't know, like it's contagious. Yeah. But yeah, so we just don't talk about that. But I kind of talk about queerness with my family, like I'm very proactive about my allyship for the queer community. Like anytime my mom makes comments about like Grey's Anatomy and like it was Cali and Arizona. You know, she'll be like, ugh, this stupid girl's kissing. And I'll be like, mother, why are they stupid? Like, tell me what is like blah, 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 you know? But I won't speak like on behalf of me, you know what I mean? I'll just kind of say it as like an ally, like I'm very, you know, oh, why do you think that's weird? You know, like when my dad said that thing, I was like, we have two very different views. He's like, I know that. I'm like, I know. And then that was it. You know, like I'm very, you know, like they know that I'm okay with it. They don't need to know anything about me. I don't know. I just don't, it just doesn't bother me because I just don't have that kind of relationship with them, so it just doesn't affect me in any way at all.
That's really good. Yeah, that you're able to like separate. It's a powerful shit.
But it's just a different relationship, right? Like we grew up like they're very distant kind of parents. Like they're not in. They've never been involved in my life, and I lived on my own since I was 16. So it's not really like they know much about me as a human.
Yeah, fair.
You know, it's just different worlds. Yeah. I don't think you need to come out if you don't want to or don't feel like it's yeah if it's not safe too, because for sure if I told them I'd get disowned or a lot of other things and I'm sure some people maybe watching this can relate to that, and yeah, don't feel like it's a necessity and then you're gonna end up like kicked out, or if you're gonna end up not saying that like, oh, you shouldn't come out and that it's okay to leave home or things like that, but I understand why people don't, you know, and it's not like you're not a real queer person if you don't come out to your family. Yeah,
that's so important.
Like you're still you.
There is no checklist.
Yeah, there is no right way to do this. You know,
like your identity is your own personal identity.
Yeah. Like it's important for me that my friends know that because I want them to like meet my partners and like if I see a cute girl, I want to be like check her out. You know, like, you know, and like I've been educating them about that because even like I've had homophobic friends, right? So like so it's more so like I have really worked to come out to them. Like my best friend of like 12 years, it took me like 7 years to come out to her. You know, I kind of like waited for the right time where I felt like she was evolving in her sense of openness, and then I came out to her and it was okay, but I took my time because I was like, I don't want this to affect our friendship or whatever. I don't know, it's weird to friends too, because definitely the thing about the chosen family, like I have a very close circle of my chosen family who are Matifs, so
It's
this is weird.
We really did that.
Ho ho ho.
How do you?
Sorry.
It like took me like no process what you said. No. How do you prioritize your well-being when you're spending time with family who might have different views, particularly spirituality?
I feel like we covered this.
Did we not just answer?
We can expand.
Wait,
yeah, we can expand on that. So politically, spirituality, things like that.
I feel fortunate to have parents who like have always been really open with me about just like my body and like gender and sexuality, and like have definitely been visibly always trying to learn, and it helped when I was 10 my older sibling came out, so I was like getting a really very extensive education about what like being queer is at the age of 10, and so like, but there are still some things where it's like about language or like slipping up in beliefs, but it's never too much that I feel like I can't manage. But I know some friends who do have that experience in their families, and I know that it can be like just suffocating. So I think that like your well-being should always come first, and it's hard not to compromise that when you're with family and you're supposed to be having like a jolly holiday time. But yeah, I feel lucky that I can kind of back down if I need to, or like I have people who are listening to me, but otherwise I know it's very tough.
Like I had a discussion when I was home last time because we were talking about like, I don't even know, we were just talking about like life questions or something, and then the person I was with like just brought up like a question as in like just to see what the different side was. It was like, why don't we have a straight pride? Blah blah blah.
Devil's advocate.
And I was like, I have to talk about this.
Pride.
Literally, I just talk about it and like describe like, well, this is why we have pride and this is why we're doing this, because we're still not equal and all this shit is happening in the world. So like, and you guys are fine. Like, there's no like straight pride because it's not necessary in like the world we live in. You know, like there's like you're accepted. You know, so yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Try not to.
I find spiritually way harder than politically though. Like spirituality, I hate getting into religion, like at all. It's like this subject that I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. Like I don't touch that. I'm like, goodbye.
I mean, but like religion isn't necessarily spirituality, right? Like
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't touch religion.
I don't touch it. I'm like, no.
But I think, I try not to educate people when I'm at, so I'm just looking at like additional stuff. But one of my family gatherings, like, that's not my place. Like, Google is your friend.
Literally.
Like, I'm here to eat food and enjoy myself. Like, this is not the time. If you want to have a meeting, schedule it in. No, but yeah, no, I just like, I don't have energy for that, you know? And I find like, if it's your family and they care, they're not gonna put you through the labor.
The only person that's like mostly like I haven't told yet is just my aunt, and it's mostly because like my aunt is like, she has like a learning disability, so like she doesn't comprehend various topics or whatever. Like she has like a very like one track, like and she comes from like a very religious upbringing, so like I feel like she wouldn't be able to like understand like what it really means, and even if she did, I feel like it would be very like centered in the religion and like and they have a habit of like going on and on, so it would constantly be like, you're gay. So it's like, I don't want that. So yeah, I haven't told them. How can we help each other during a time that might be lonely or even hostile?
My friend, who I know, is often in situations with their family where they don't feel like accepted and don't feel comfortable within their space. So I kind of say, hey, you want to come over and just like chill at my place for a couple hours and just kind of like debrief a little bit. So I give them that space to just chill.
Texting your friends and asking just like how their day is going. If you are aware of any situation with their family over the holidays, but also maybe just checking in anyways. And if there is something wrong, seeing what you can do to help them. I like talking on the phone too.
Yeah. Like, same with what Jack said or whatever. Like, I always, with my friends or whatever, I provide, like, because I live on my own now or whatever, but, like, in a house, but, like, I'm going to be in an apartment. But, I don't live with my parents, but basically, like, I provide my friends the option of, like, coming over, like, if they're, like, something is going on at home or whatever, which I have had to do a lot of times. So, like, because I know certain situations with parents, it's, like, can be really, so yeah, I've had like people come over and like stay at my house.
I think I'm lucky enough to be in a situation where my family is very opening, accepting at this point. It took them a few years, but time. So in because of that, I think I now try to reach out for I go to other people's like holidays and I go with them as sort of like a support person. Because I could care less because I'm like, it's not my family, I don't care. Sorry. But like if I'm there for you, then I can, if I'm able to be there for you, then I can be there for you. So that's sort of, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do similarly too. Like one of my best friends is gay and he's not exactly open, but like they know that he's gay, but like he'll have like these huge family get-togethers, so he'll invite me over and then like if there's homophobic comments being thrown out, like he doesn't want us to like say anything about it, but like we'll go outside, have a smoke, bitch about it, and like come back in, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, at least we have each other and they don't even know, you know what I mean? So it's cool to just kind of have someone who understands. And yeah, just like texting, sending, you know, just like those memes like when your family doesn't know you're gay and they're talking about, like, you know, and they're talking about like homophobic stuff or whatever, and just like, hey John.
Like to flip the script a bit or whatever, like for the hostile environment, I hate it when like I have friends or allies who basically are friends with me and are fine with like my sexuality and everything, but then like they'll invite me over to like their family's house and their family is like not okay with it, and then like I have to deal with that situation because they had just brought me in there without like telling me that, which I have been in that situation a few times. So it's like, yeah.
At that point,
I hate that. It's like now I'm brought into like this hostile environment because you're like parents or your family. So,
and then it's like hard to reach out for like help when you've been brought into that situation.
Like who do you know?
Who do you know? Turn to.
Literally. All right. Do you have any traditions that you're looking forward to? Any new traditions you'd like to start?
I want to start one where I just watch terrible Christmas movies with friends.
do that.
I always watch like Star Wars around Christmas time because like recently a new Star Wars movie has been coming out for near Christmas time. So that's been a recent thing, and it's very comforting just to sit on the couch for many hours and not think of anything at all. And I am looking forward to like my own holidays away from my parents, and it's just like healthy and good, and with new friends and my partner. It's just exciting. I love the holidays. Like even though they're like less special than when you're a child and it's all about presents, but like now it's more about like I'm super excited when the snow comes and like making.
Excited about the snow.
Yeah, I love winter.
Shook.
But being excited about the first snow and like making things for people and baking and Star Wars, that's all I care about. Yeah. Sorry, Mom and Dad, it's over.
You've been canceled.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, Peter and Susan.
Ooh, first names. Yeah, no, I just like to I just chill and eat food by myself. With my sisters and stuff though. I say by myself, but not actually. My sister.
Hello, sisters.
But I'd definitely like to, I don't know, I wanted to start doing like a friend thing, like a friend get together, have some chill times. You know, like a potluck. A friend potluck Secret Santa.
Secret Santa.
Yeah.
We did a roommate Secret Santa.
Little do you know I'm
this year.
secretly broke.
There's a $10 left.
Do it yourself.
We did that this year with my roommates. It was it was great.
Nice.
I did that for you.
Yeah, I usually travel, so we're gonna figure out something to do with my squad, and we did Secret Santa last year, and that was really fun. Even though we all like knew who each other got, because we can't keep secrets. But like you put just like a limit, you know, like oh you can only spend like $20, you know, and you just get like really creative with it, you know. So
share one self-care strategy for surviving the holidays.
Ooh.
Who wants to start?
Hell, I'm looking at me.
Yeah.
You're
I would say one thing that I do is I love running. So I go for runs with music usually whenever I'm home. Like I go every day. And like, well, winter obviously, I probably can't do that right now. But usually I would run right by the water. Oh, I've done it in winter actually as well. But like, it's so nice because I live like right on Lake Ontario, so I get to run like right by and it's like, just like zone out with my music. And I'm like, oh.
refreshing.
Or alternatively, just like going for a walk.
Yeah, I walk as well. I used to go for walks.
It's winter, so be careful up there.
Yeah, and I used to have like, there was a rock in the lake. Like in the lake, but like you could jump to it. And I would just sit on there and stare at the water, like with my music, after my walk, and then I walk back.
Hashtag coconuts.
Yeah.
Getting out if you're able to. It's amazing.
okay. So I've said this like 5 times already, but I just get the hell out of Dodge. And I kind of, I don't know, this is kind of the opposite of whatever people do, like being alone and going for walks and stuff. But being alone with my thoughts is not healthy for me. So I make sure I'm around my friends, like for like a good 2 weeks. Like, you know, we go out together and like I'm in a hotel with somebody and, you know, there's always somebody there to talk to. Yeah.
So for me, this is something I do like when I'm like really deep in the family verse, you know, celebrations. I'll just like call my friends and go into another room and just like, oh my god, XYZ just happened. Like this is ridiculous. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, you know, just reaffirm me, you know, like I need to be validating. Yeah, like tell me that I'm right and they're wrong.
I'm always the one people call.
Because you're such a hype man.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, I just do that. We just sit peeps.
I like journaling. I write a lot, and I think it helps me because then I can just like leave it in the notebook and not think about it after, or like I can think about it again after, but with more reflection and like maybe it's more maturity if I'm really in the moment in like pain or struggling with something. But yeah, it's also nice to like look back at like times I was happy. I've been journaling for like years. There's like a lot of emotions I've felt, but yeah, it's nice to reflect, and I do feel a lot better when I do it, like just putting it in there and walking away. It's good.
I basically like drown myself in like different types of media, mostly like video games and like movies, and a lot of music. So if I hear like, I mean, it's usually not arguments about like queerness in general, but if there's anyone starting something, I just like turn up some Michael Jackson and it's over. Everyone's jamming, it's good.
So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed our QTALK. QTALK is a queer facilitated discussion. Be sure to check out our old videos if you haven't already. Links up here and below. Have a great holiday.